Sir Paul McCartney is a name that needs little introduction. As a founding member of the Beatles, one of the most iconic and influential bands in music history, and as a prolific solo artist, McCartney has carved out a legacy few could ever match. Over the course of nearly 7 decades, he has earned global admiration not only for his distinct voice and masterful songwriting, but also for his versatility across multiple instruments. Among his many talents, songwriting stands out as one of his greatest gifts. McCartney has been responsible for some of the most celebrated compositions in modern music, including timeless classics like Hey Jude and Let It Be. Crafting memorable melodies and meaningful lyrics is no small feat, yet he has often made it look effortless, thanks to his natural flair and relentless dedication. Still, there was one particular song that came to him with such ease that it left him second-guessing its origin. In August 1965, the Beatles released their 5th studio album, Help, an immediate success that soared to the top of both the UK and US charts. The album included major hits like Help and Ticket to Ride, but nestled among them was a hauntingly beautiful ballad that would go on to become one of the most beloved songs of all time, Yesterday. Though credited to the songwriting partnership of Lennon and McCartney, Yesterday was written almost entirely by Paul. Its mournful lyrics, reflecting sorrow over lost love and a yearning for the innocence of the past, resonated deeply with listeners. The song quickly gained critical acclaim and commercial success. According to Discover Music, it is widely considered one of the greatest pop songs ever recorded and holds the Guinness World Record as the most covered pop song in history. Its influence even inspired a 2019 romantic musical film of the same name, in which a struggling musician finds himself in a world where the Beatles never existed and becomes famous by performing their songs as if they were his own. But the origin story of Yesterday is nearly as fantastical as the film it inspired. McCartney has often shared that the melody for the song came to him in a dream. While staying in the attic bedroom of the London home he shared with his then-girlfriend Jane Asher, herself a muse for many Beatles songs, Paul awoke one morning with a fully formed tune in his head. As he recalled in his authorized biography, Many Years From Now by Barry Miles, he immediately got out of bed, sat at the nearby upright piano, and began to piece together the chords. Moving from G to F-sharp minor 7th, then to B and E minor, and finally resolving back to E, the progression felt perfectly logical and natural. He was so struck by how complete and seamless the melody was that he doubted whether it had truly come from his own imagination. In fact, McCartney was so convinced that he might have accidentally copied the tune from an existing song that he began playing it for friends, colleagues, and even fellow Beatles to make sure it wasn't already in circulation. Only after repeated assurances that it was indeed original did he finally feel comfortable claiming it as his own. Interestingly, when the melody first came to him, McCartney filled in placeholder lyrics, nonsensical lines about breakfast foods, to make sure he wouldn't forget the tune. It was only later that the song's final lyrics, full of melancholy and nostalgia, took shape. The Beatles' impact during the 1960s was monumental, and alongside them stood another revolutionary group, the Beach Boys. While the Beatles pushed boundaries with their blend of rock, pop, and avant-garde influences from the UK, the Beach Boys redefined American pop music with lush harmonies and themes rooted in California surf culture. Though often portrayed as rivals, the two bands shared deep mutual respect. Their musical back and forth inspired both to reach new creative heights. Speaking about the dynamic between the Beatles and the Beach Boys, McCartney once explained that he held Brian Wilson in high esteem as a composer. Their unofficial competition, where one band would release a song and the other would respond with their own creative answer, mirrored the friendly rivalry McCartney had with John Lennon. That artistic tension pushed them all to keep innovating, always striving to outdo each other in the best way possible. Through stories like these, it's clear that Paul McCartney's legacy is not only defined by his immense talent, but also by his curiosity, humility, and willingness to let inspiration guide him, even when it comes from a dream.